Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the program. I am Zeph Teo, a Year 2 in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, or CDF for short. Today, I have with us Mr. Jet Lim, Diploma Manager for the Diploma in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, to share with us more about the course. Hello, Mr. Lim.
Hello, Zed. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, good.
Okay, I have a few questions for you, and so here's the first one. I understand that TP is a leader in cybersecurity training. Could you tell us why?
Recently, we just opened out a malware analysis center. It was opened on the 17th of November. Okay. This malware analysis center is one of its kind in ASEAN. Educational institutions. It is focused for the detections, identifications, and the forensic investigations. With the malware analysis centers, we also gather some industry partners such as ST Engineering, Palo Alto Networks, and CrowdStrike to foster the development of academic collaborations, staff capability development, and research projects.
All right. Could you tell us then about the professional certificates that students can get while they study in this diploma?
Well, we have quite a number of industry certifications. From the network side, you will have the CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Associate, and CCNA Security. And also we have the Huawei Certified ICT Associate, Routing and Switching. Okay, this is on the network side. When it comes to the ethical hackings, we also have the Certified Ethical Hacker, and also have CISSP to supplement the students' learning in the polytechnics.
Wow, okay, so that's quite a number of certifications and courses. Could you tell us how having these would help the students?
Well, industry certifications serve as a supplement to the knowledge of the students. So certification is a form of recognition to the capability of the students. So therefore, it is important for the students to acquire such certifications if they intend to move further into the industry.
I see. So these certifications are really helpful in moving forward in cybersecurity.
Yes.
Now, I have another question regarding job prospects.
Sure.
So what type of job roles do graduates take up, and what companies do they join?
Okay, we are looking at the cybersecurity industry. Basically, there are two main sectors. One is the public sector, the other one is the private sector. The public sectors will include some of the ministry like Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Home Affairs, Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, where majority of our students are in. We also have the private sector, such as the bank. Okay, the other big employer will be the big four, the auditing company like KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and others. Okay, so even small and medium enterprise are getting students from our diplomas, because more and more companies are realizing that it's important for them to secure their critical infrastructure that they have in their company.
All right. Now that we've talked about the job prospects, I would like to ask about further education. What are the further education opportunities for students from the diploma?
Yeah, thanks for the questions. Okay, when you talk about further educations, again, you have two sectors, the local and the overseas. Okay, locally, the major university that you can think of like NUS, NTU, SMU, SIT, they all have related cybersecurity courses where the students can go to. Okay, if you are thinking of overseas educations, Australia, New Zealand, they also have lots of courses. Okay, example from New Zealand, Australia, you have RMIT, Murdoch, University of Queensland. They all have cybersecurity related courses for the students to go into. Okay, but basically, in general, cybersecurity is already a very mature industry. So in this mature courses in the university.
So we can rest assured that there will be a lot of opportunities for us as students.
Yes.
All right. Final question. This is for you as a diploma manager. What kind of qualities do you expect to see in a cybersecurity student?
Okay, basically, I think firstly is the love of technology itself. You must be interested in the technology because this is an ever evolving industry. because the hackers will always come up with new techniques and new methods or new technology or new tool to hack into the systems. So there's a need for you to acquire this lifelong learning attitudes. Okay, so basically two things. First, you must love the technology. Secondly, you must remember you must keep on learning, a lifelong learning attitude.
All right, that's all I have for you, Mr. Lim. Thank you so much for your time and for your valuable insights. Now I have with me Yi Ching and Husaini, also cybersecurity students, a year 3 and a year 2 respectively, to share more about their experience. Hi Yi Ching, hi Husaini.
Hi there.
So starting with Yi Ching, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you decided to join cybersecurity? Then also, how has it been like?
So my name's Yi Ching. So I'm a year 3 student studying in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. So I'm someone who came or graduated from IT East in the same area of field. So which is also another reason why I chose this course in TP. So the course actually provides the students with a very gripping and engaging journey, giving different exposures and interesting modules like digital forensics, networking, and ethical hacking, which all comes in the form of projects and case studies. So to better explain, is the year 1 modules are actually more common and broad in the IT sector, like a very basic programming language or projects like using JavaScript to create a mobile app. And all this actually gives us the opportunity to adapt before actually diving into the heavier modules, which is related to the course in year 2 and year 3. So before COVID-19 pandemic actually came, life in TP was actually quite interesting. There were many different events you can participate in with your peers and friends, like competitions that the lecturer will share with you, or just taking up certificates in the modules related to cybersecurity. And like, for example, why I say it's quite interesting for the events, because we have actually a common module called Global Studies back in year 1, where the students are given the opportunity to actually go overseas, which my class went to Bangkok together. But once the COVID-19 pandemic actually hit Singapore, there wasn't much left to experience because of circuit breaker and lockdown, but HBL is quite something new to adapt to. Yeah.
Thank you, Yi Ching. Husaini, as a year 2 student who began from the COVID period, could you tell us a bit more about yourself and also why you joined CDF and how is it going? How do you find it?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Husaini. I'm in year 2 studying cybersecurity. So I guess firstly, I was interested in cybersecurity from a mobile security standpoint, like primarily. And as I found out, as I compared with the different polys, I found out that the TP actually offers a mobile security module, which actually interests me a lot in TP, and I decided to take cybersecurity up. So I guess firstly, cybersecurity is such an exciting industry to be in. So in the realm of cybersecurity, it's so interesting to see numerous news articles on data breaches almost every day. And due to the nature of cybersecurity, we can always learn something online. So in terms of our curriculum, our diploma is primed to give us a wealth of knowledge and expertise on a variety of fields, such as networking, coding, security, and more, which are extremely relevant to us, especially as we go into the working world. So as for myself, I'm the current vice chairman of the cybersecurity student interest group. So this means that I have opportunities to work with other cybersecurity interest groups from the various polys to work on events like the Interpoly Capture the Flag competition called Lag Crash happening in 2022. So having this experience to work with other polys and to create the entire CTF Capture the Flag competition catered towards beginners is actually quite meaningful, and it actually provides quite a lot of external information, external work we can external stuff we can learn from beyond the diploma. Yeah.
Wow, both your stories equally unique and interesting. Husaini, could you share share with us what are some characteristics that you would find that you would think a cybersecurity student would need to get to where you are?
The main quality I think cybersecurity professionals need to possess is to be an independent learner. So as for myself, I try to read up on current affairs, on data breaches every day, and to learn about how they happen and why they happen. So this really gives more insight on how hackers actually work in the real working world, and to see how data breaches actually take place. So besides that, I guess being in TP, we're actually given plenty of opportunities to gain to learn and grow over the semester or over the years, and especially during our flex weeks, we are given many opportunities such as seminars, certifications that we can attend to really help us to learn and grow, especially in things like networking and security. So as for myself, I recently uh, decided to take on the Huawei networking certification called the HCIA cert, which is basically a networking cert to certify that I'm skilled in uh, the setting up and the maintenance of a network topology in Huawei. Yeah, so having these opportunities, especially during the holidays, to work on my skills and to certify myself is actually really important, and I'm really glad that TP offers so many opportunities for us to learn and grow. So being an independent learner and taking advantage of all these opportunities is actually really important, and I think it's a really important skill to have as a cybersecurity professional.
Thank you, Husaini. Yi Ching, other than independent learning, and what qualities do you, from your perspective, do you see as important in a cybersecurity student?
For me, I also have the same thoughts as Husaini, that it is also important for someone to have independent learning, especially in this kind of course. But some qualities that someone has to also have is like perseverance and being a very hard worker, and able to, or is willing to work well with other people. Because in the courses, in the modules in this course, most of them are very project based, or uh they are graded based on the group project. But although the results come out as individual, if the person is not willing to work well with the other group members, then the end results wouldn't work well, especially for the other team members and the person itself. And for perseverance wise, especially in this kind of cybersecurity or digital forensic sector, if the person don't want to do well themselves, or is not very confident or very hardworking enough to actually reach out to other sources or to do well for themselves, then it is not easy to work on in this sector or the other modules in the course. So like the quotes usually say, if you work very hard, then the end results will actually show. And I actually follow this very well, and by following it, it actually pays in the end result.
For Husaini, did you have any prior coding experience, and after you went through year one and up to now, what are your thoughts on having prior coding experience?
Joining in cybersecurity from the JAE, I actually did not have a coding background, but it's definitely not necessary. So as for myself, starting off in year one, there was a steep learning curve for me to learn and pick up these coding skills, especially in such a short period of time. But with in TP, having this step-by-step learning process as to each and every language we actually practice, such as Python, Java, to code things like a web application and a mobile app. Having learned all these programming languages on a step through a step-by-step basis, really helps even beginners like myself to cope with the modules and to actually do well. So in TP, we're also blessed with many helpful lecturers to help us learn and to practice our coding languages. So they're really patient and they always tend to help us to persevere, even though coding might be hard at the start. So even now, actually much more confident in coding, and despite so, I think that having a brief coding background, especially maybe in languages like Java and Python, would be could prove to be really instrumental in your learning experience in TP, but it will definitely not be necessary for everyone to do so.
All right. So all in all, it is coding experience would be considered a plus per se. And so now Husaini, could you share some tips for someone who is interested to join in this diploma? On like for freshies, what advice would you give to them?
I guess my main advice would be to read up on current affairs, especially in cybersecurity. It's really important to keep up with technology, as due to how fast-paced and ever-changing it is. So learning about data breaches happening on at least a weekly basis would be really important for you to keep up with the news, and to keep up with the different kind of technologies the hackers are using, and basically how to secure them as well. So besides reading up on current affairs, I would say try to keep in touch with a senior from maybe TP or just cybersecurity in general to give you a brief background on how cybersecurity is like. So maybe knowing someone, knowing a senior will help you learn about how maybe they would cope themselves in the course. So maybe they would better know their strengths and weaknesses, and basically would help to give their insights on how you would cope as freshies in cybersecurity. So
Thank you, Husaini. Now, Yiqing, we know that you are year 3 student. You'll be graduating soon from TP. Could you share with us about your future plans? What are you going to do next?
Yeah, so like you said, I'll be graduating soon. But then for this case, I don't think like the journey of this or of my path will actually just ends at Temasek Poly in this IIT course. So I was thinking after graduating, I do plan to get into a local university. So for now, I'm aiming for the SIT, the Information Security course. And once I graduate from the university, I maybe land a job in the cybersecurity sector or maybe the digital forensic sector.
That's all I have for you both. Thank you so much, Husaini and Yiqing, for your time and for sharing with us. Bye-bye.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have Andrew Leng, a year 3 student in the diploma, to share with us a bit more about what he does. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Could you share with us what you are currently doing at the moment?
So for me, I'm currently doing my SIP. That's what we call Student Internship Program. So when you go into year 3, right, everyone will get a chance to go out into the workforce, go work for all the different companies, and gain a bit of work experience. But for me, I'm actually interning in school for the newly opened Malware Analysis Center. So this place, right, is very cool. Okay, the student, anybody can come in with their laptop and they feel, hey, I think my laptop got malware. So they take it to us, we scan it for them, and we remove everything for them. Service all nice, then give it back. Yeah, so that's the service we provide. It's a very new center. So just opened like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, it's a pretty fun place to intern at lah. Yeah, check it out on your way in.
Okay, I'll make sure to do that. Now, I'd like to ask you, how has your experience been in the diploma in cybersecurity and digital forensics as a year 3 student?
I think so far, I would have to say it's been pretty great. Okay, but of course, many ups and downs. You have your basic, in terms of modules that you learn, you have your basic subjects where you go and learn all the regular coding, all the languages, whatnot. But once you go more and more in depth, you get to have a shot at doing more lah. So you have modules where you learn ethical hacking, you learn digital forensics, where say that the case study is that it's a murder case and you have to go and investigate into it. So you go and analyze the victim's hard drive, find out clues, and we have a few of these case studies, in fact. Yeah, so these are probably some of the highlights in terms of modules for the course itself, what you'll be learning. And in terms of the school itself, school life, we got a lot of facilities here. You know, we have our gym, we have our sports complex. It's been pretty fun to play football every now and then, every now and again. Yep. And on on top of that, around the campus, we have many food courts you can try. Food is good. Yeah, I can assure you of that. In terms of the CCAs that you can go in, so for me, I'm in the student interest group. So I've had the opportunity to speak for our course in an open house before. But on top of that as well, I've been able to actually teach some of the cybersecurity concepts to people that normally aren't studying these kinds of things lah. So opportunities all around. I've gotten to go kayaking to Pulau Ubin, lead an expedition group. Yeah, so pretty wild, lots of ups and downs, I think, but overall quite enjoyable lah. Yeah.
Mm. You seem to enjoy TP life very much. As a year 3 student graduating soon, what is one thing you will miss most about TP?
Good question. Maybe I think for me, right, it's really just the campus lah. It may be a bit older of a campus, but when you go in, you see, wow, all the schools here in the central hub. Then you can go down to the different schools, and there's also the food. Like I said, food is pretty good lah. I think it's something that I'll miss. Yeah, and a lot. It's just the little things, hanging out with your friends in these little corners in the school, yeah, in the campus, having lunch at all these great places. Yep, it's these small things that I'll miss.
Now you mentioned good food. Could you list down 2 of your favorite places to eat at?
I think for one, ITAS, there's the flavors food court for the matter, the air conditioned one. There's that really nice chicken rice. Okay, you have to check it out. Maybe you yourself have tried it before. Then on top of that, Short Circuit has a pretty good Western. So yeah, these are some pretty good places. But feel free to explore lah for those who are new to the place. Yeah, you will find great food. I can assure you.
Could you share with us, for our freshies, share with them a tip or 2 about joining CDF, Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, as a diploma?
I think for one, when you go in, okay, there's gonna be many group projects at once. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of work, very different to what you see in secondary school. So when you come in, make sure you manage your time properly. All right, you can don't leave everything to the last minute lah. It's a lot harder to climb your way out of that kind of situation. So yeah, do your work early, and on top of that, with all this group project, right, and go ahead, make friends, find the right group of people to work with, because you probably be unfamiliar. There's gonna be a lot of new faces. So yeah, find your group, find your team. You work well with them, you synergize. Okay, you will go far and you do very well.
Thank you so much for your time, Andrew. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope to see you around in school.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Okay, thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
My next guest is Mr. Syed Hamza, a lecturer in the Diploma in Cybersecurity and Digital. My next guest is Mr. Syed Hamza, a lecturer in the Diploma in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. And he is also our alumni who graduated in the Diploma in Cyber and Digital Security in 2011. Hello, Mr. Hamza.
Hello, Zeph. How are you?
I'm good. Today I'll have a few questions for you. All right, so the first one is, could you share What are the current trends in cybersecurity?
Well, you know that IT is all around us, right? Like, for instance, like right now, if you reach into your pocket, what's the first thing that you take out? A mobile phone, right? And now, not just mobile phones, we have like smartwatches, we have like smart fridges, and we even have smart TVs. And the comfort of just watching Netflix using your TV as long as it's connected to the internet, right? And because of that, where we live in a world where devices are all interconnected, and with interconnectivity comes risks, dangers. Because you must understand that these devices are all connected to the internet. If you can access them, other people can access them too. So because of that, that's why cybersecurity in itself, it's somewhat no longer an additional form of protection, but it's a necessity. Because of how we are living in this world of interconnectivity, and especially in Singapore, whereby we are talking about, being a smart nation where all of our day-to-day jobs, our day-to-day lives, we are to use smart devices throughout. So if you're talking about the trend in cybersecurity, I'll say one thing. It is as important as the air we breathe.
It's certainly, as technology is more and more interconnected with us humans, it is very important. I understand you worked for a few years as a security consultant. Could you share your experience working in the cybersecurity industry?
Okay. Before I came to TP, I worked as a security consultant. Now, in a nutshell, what a security consultant does is to help clients by identifying security vulnerabilities, demonstrating their impact, and helping them rectify the vulnerabilities that were discovered so that it safeguards their assets and their systems. So as a security consultant, personally for me, there are two aspects in order for you to be a good security consultant. One is your technical expertise. That means you need to be proficient in the area that you work for, and due to the nature of what I do, I had to be well versed in a lot of systems and also be proficient in terms of my ethical hacking skills. So ethical hacking in a nutshell, it means performing hacking activities with consent by the client. And that's the technical aspect. Now, of course, on the other hand, there is the soft skill approach, whereby as a consultant, you are hired by the client to help them identify the vulnerabilities and also to help them improve their security posture. So this is the part where when we go through reports, we talk to them, we try to understand their problems, what they are currently facing, what are the barriers that they are facing at the moment, and see how we can go about working together rather than going against. We work with them to fix the vulnerabilities and make their systems way more secure.
So it seems like you really can help the people and make a difference in their cybersecurity aspect of their lives.
Correct. To me, it's a matter of, I think as a security consultant, the good thing about it is you have an opportunity to help change, make a difference in their organization, one step at a time.
All right. So the next question we have, we know that you were an alumni and you are also now a lecturer with the School of Informatics and IT. Could you share how that is like, how the experience is as an alumni and a teacher, and as well what inspired you to become a lecturer in TP?
To be frank, when I first stepped into TP, after 10 years, to be honest, it felt really awkward. It felt really, really awkward. Okay, because just imagine the lecturers that were with me back in 2008 and when I graduated in 2011, they were still there even after 10 years. And now, instead of calling them my lecturers, now I have to call them my colleagues, which at first became awkward because now the student has become the teacher. You heard about that saying before, right? But now, working with them, it's a totally different experience. And of course, there's new expectations to adhere by. So that's the first thing. And now, with regards to your question on why I became a lecturer in the first place, there are two reasons. One, I wanted to give back to Temasek Poly because they are the ones who allowed me or groomed me to be who I am today. If not for my experiences that I've had over the 3 years as a student in the diploma in cyber and digital security back then, I wouldn't be who I am now. That's the first one. And number two is that I hoped by being a lecturer, I don't want to be the person to just transfer knowledge to students or to aspiring young cybersecurity professionals, but rather to share my experiences with them. Because I think that's what makes it unique by being a lecturer in a polytechnic, especially in Temasek Poly, where industry relevance helps to give the students a better insight as to what they're going to deal with in the workforce when they graduate from the diploma. Because at the end of the day, when they graduate from the diploma, okay, they now have a consensus, they have a well-informed, they can make a well-informed choice rather than not knowing what's going to happen as they move forward.
Wow, that seems very nice. I'm sure a lot of students will appreciate you going the extra mile.
Yeah, definitely. Most of the time, like I have students who just probably come up to me and say, "Chill, how's life like really in the cybersecurity?" So I'll just start sharing with them, like, okay, tell them about the different areas, the different sectors, and what are the pros and cons for each area. Because it's to give them both sides of the picture, so that again, it's all about making a well-informed decision at the end of the day, right?
All right. Finally, I have our final question. If you could turn back time, what advice would you give yourself if you were still a student studying in the diploma?
Okay, I have one set of advice that I would want to tell myself back then that until now I kind of regretted it started early, which is to tell myself, don't just stay within the school grounds to learn about cybersecurity. Meaning, whatever that's taught in school, okay, don't just base it on that alone. Go out, right? Go link yourself with the cybersecurity community, because when after I started working, I've come to realize that in Singapore we have our own cybersecurity community, whereby they're like-minded cybersecurity professionals, and their sole job is basically just to bridge people together of different cybersecurity areas, and for them to share their experiences, their research, their products that they have, so that everybody can benefit and also learn from one another. And the good thing about it in cybersecurity community is that because it's small, it's very heartwarming, it's very welcoming as well, in terms of any newcomer in cybersecurity can benefit a lot by just attending to their talks, going for conferences, or even going for competitions for that matter. Because at the end of the day, when you make an impression in the community, people will see you. So again, I think on one hand, yes, academics is of course very important. When you're in school, you need to perform to your very best. But at the same time, looking at not just what you have in school, but going beyond. Because at the end of the day, who is going to hire you is probably the people who are in the cybersecurity industry. So why not even your chances, right?
Wow. So I thank you so much, Mr. Hamza. I learned so much. I got a few tips to play, my card. But really, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you around.
Okay. Thank you so much, Zeph. Take care.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So now we come to the Q&A segment now. My name is Benny Chin. I'm the course chair for the Diploma in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. Okay. While waiting for the questions, let me tell you more about our diploma. courses and so on. I'm sure you know, just now it was mentioned, we have a newly launched malware analysis center. So this center very prestigious because this is a live center. So live center means students actually work on the live malware, in the center. And the students there also, they fully operate the center from tier 1 analyst, tier 2 analyst, all the way to the security manager. It's also manned by a student. Okay, and then coupled with the fact that these partner with very big players, industry players out there like ST Engineering, Palo Alto, and also CrowdStrike. In fact, they are the ones who come to guide us, guide the students, and also they directly impart skills to our students. So through the center also, they also work on projects other than operating the center, such as doing reverse engineering on malware. Interesting to know also, other than doing reverse engineering, they also create malware. There are some requests from some industries to create malware. So when you do create malware, then you really fully understand how later on to do the reverse engineering to do the breakdown of the malware itself. Okay. Okay, also more information for you. Our cybersecurity and digital forensics students, they also recently won the Singapore World Skill Competition. So one of my students, very proud to say, he obtained a gold, okay, in the networking category. I also have students from my diploma that won the bronze in the cybersecurity category. So right now, the student who won gold, he is actually preparing, okay, to join the world, in the world competition, okay, very soon. Okay, so okay, questions still coming in. Okay, first question: if we join CDF and realize we prefer big data, AI, then how? Okay, put it that way. Before you actually decide to join any diploma, okay, my advice to you is you should do more research. Okay, perhaps you also should come and visit us to find out more about the individual courses within the School of Informatics and IT before you decide to join any diploma. Okay, that's my advice to you. Also, if you really after doing your research and talking to us, you also still undecided, whether which diploma to go to. So I would suggest maybe you should just join the common ICT first diploma, and then later on you will have a choice to choose the other diploma that you wish to go to later on. Okay, so I hope I've answered that question. Okay, important is to do research. Be very sure first before you put your choices. Okay. Okay, while still waiting for the question, let me tell you more. So our students also recently do help MINDEF to do penetration testing. In short, we call pen testing for the MINDEF app. Okay, so pen testing, if you're not sure what it is actually a type of hacking, ethical hacking. That means a company allows the student to hack into their app, hack into their system, purposely allow to really find out more whether there are any more vulnerabilities. They should plug the gap. So this is called pen testing. So yeah, recently, a good thing is our students actually worked on doing pen testing on the MINDEF app. Okay. Okay, next question. Will we still learn as much as CDF? I'm not too sure what the question mean by learn as much as CDF, but definitely in all the diploma courses that we have here, they are all structured, carefully structured to ensure that in year one, there will be foundation training in all the various skills like coding, cybersecurity, network, and so on. And then when it comes to year two, they will go into their real diploma core where they will specialize, okay, based on their diploma subjects. And then year three, the students actually go for their internship as well as their major project. Yeah. What do I need to do to use EAE? Okay, I think the early admission exercises actually starts much later, somewhere in May period. Okay, so if you're really keen on going into the EAE, perhaps if your interest is really in cybersecurity, you should do more of your own self research and to during EAE they will be interviewed to really show that you're very passionate in the cybersecurity. Yeah. So for me, although we do the interview as much as possible, we know you're interested. We also try to see whether we can get you in, but then you know that there are limited places in EAE. So hence, so the only way we can really assess whether you should come in first or not is based on your passion, your interest, and so on. So you should do more of your own self-study on cybersecurity. If you can, it would be good that you also go for some short cybersecurity courses so that when you come for the EAE interview, you will be able to tell us more or to impress us to take you first. Yeah. Okay, but since you are talking about that also, before the next question, our students also do other than doing their usual curriculum, they also do a lot of professional certifications, such as the CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate. We also do the Huawei routing and switching, CCNA security, Certified Ethical Hacking certification, and so on and so forth. Okay, next question. If we decide to EAE to CDF, what are you looking for in us? Okay, is having a programming background extremely important for EAE to this course or just add on? Okay, what we are looking for you when you come for the EAE interview is pretty much on interest. Okay, of course we know you guys are not formally trained on cybersecurity, so we don't expect that wow you can be here and then you can show portfolio that wow you have done penetration testing before, you have done this. That's not what we're looking for. But we are more looking for we know you have limited knowledge, but how do you use your limited knowledge to exhibit your interest? When you come for the interview, to show us that you are the one that we should take you in. Okay, whether having a programming background or not, of course, it will be an advantage. Okay, advantage, but not a requirement for the EAE interview. Yes, again, it still boils down to interest. Okay, you can have programming background, but if we start to ask you cyber security related questions and you are unable to answer them, then it actually shows that maybe you are more skilled towards the programming diploma, like our diploma in IT, rather than cyber security. Yeah. So I hope I've answered that question. Yes. Okay, next question. How is IT related to cyber security? Okay, information technology, okay, is about the things you use, the digital assets and so on. So cyber security is about protecting, okay, protecting against all these IT assets. Okay, like example, protecting against your notebook. Okay, the data in your notebook, the hard disk in your notebook, protecting the data in your handphone. Okay, protecting the servers in the data center. When you post, onto the iCloud from your iPhone, in your iCloud, it actually goes into a server over the internet, over the cloud. So cyber security is all about protecting. Okay, protecting, analyzing, doing forensics on all these IT products. So this is how they are related. So to the question, you're right. In order to go into cybersecurity, you need to know IT first. So therefore, you see in our curriculum in year one, we will train you the common IT skills. like programming, like network, some cybersecurity, some analytics, and so on and so forth in year one. Yeah. Okay, so I hope I've answered to the question. Okay, next question. What jobs can I get if I join CDF and graduate? Cybersecurity is very important now because there are more and more digital things, more and more people store information over the cloud, over the notebook, become very, very critical. So hence, there is a task, okay, to really protect all these assets. So therefore, you see the public sector as well as the private sector, they need a lot of all these cybersecurity personnel to come and protect all these assets. In fact, in the industry right now, there is a shortage. Okay, there's a huge shortage of cybersecurity personnel. So they are actively trying, even coming to us before our students graduate to check with us. Hey, your students graduating soon. So when can they graduate? Can we interview them first to see whether they are okay to join our company to be the cybersecurity person? So we have cases like this happening. Yeah. So therefore, the jobs that cybersecurity personnel can get into are the protecting assets as a general cybersecurity personnel. You also can join the workforce to do penetration testing. Okay, pen testing. You also can do the workforce to do the after MIF, which is the analysis, forensics analysis, the malware analysis, malware analyst, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot out there. So in the private sectors, such as banks, and all the small medium enterprise SMEs, they are actively looking for personnel, cybersecurity personnel. Then in the government sector, like CSA, Ministry of Home Affairs, and so the Ministries of Defense, and so on, they are also actively looking for cybersecurity personnel. So I mentioned again, there is a shortage there. So we hope we hope to recruit more. We hope more of you guys can really come in here and join the workforce to protect the assets, cyber security assets in Singapore. Yeah. Hey, could you maybe like offer some names of potential companies which we will work with? Yeah, of course, there's a lot. Banks, many of the banks, OCBC, UOB, okay, all these banks. Why I mentioned specifically OCBC? Because currently OCBC staff engages us, our CDF lecturers, to teach them, to offer cybersecurity training to their staff to hype up their cybersecurity skills. Why? Because again, challenging to hire from outside, because there's a shortage there. So they thought, yeah, maybe it's good to train the current people, the in-house people, to become cybersecurity experts. So that's one aspect of banks. Then, of course, the others are the cybersecurity related company like KPMG, Deloitte, like IBM also, okay, Cisco, okay, Palo Alto, ST Engineering, and so on and so forth. In short, every organization will need cybersecurity personnel. Okay, so don't worry. Definitely there will be job opportunities in all the various companies to take you in when you graduate from the diploma. Yeah. Okay. Which way will we learn penetration testing? Okay, very good. Starting in year 2, you will learn penetration testing already. Okay, year 2. Okay, because why? Year 3 is the time where the students work on projects and do their internship. That means attached to an external company. So in year 2, all the students, by end of year 2, all the students would have already been trained with all the necessary cybersecurity skill sets. Yeah. So will we learn different coding languages like yeah, sure. depending on the course, okay, because also depending on the project that you work on and so on, there will be opportunities for you to learn different coding languages. Yeah, so not an issue, on this. Yeah, other than the coding languages, you also learn scripting also, which also part of the hacking, the hacking skill set that is required. You also learn different operating system also, like Linux. Other than the usual Windows OS, you also learn about the Linux type of operating system and so on. So not to worry, yeah. Okay, while waiting for more questions, also I'd like to also update you, our cybersecurity students, after they have graduated from the diploma, quite a number of them actually they pursue further studies in universities. So on our side, I think we have 60% of our students actually went out to do further their studies in the universities, like NUS, the usual in Singapore, NUS, NTU, SMU, SIT, and so on. Also quite a handful, I know, they went overseas also to some of the countries like New Zealand, Australia, United Kingdom, and so on, to further on their cybersecurity skills. There are related cybersecurity courses in the universities for the students to pursue when they finish their diploma. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? How many places do you have in cybersecurity? Okay, our intake for this coming year is about 150. Again, now you see, wow, very big, 150. It's because there is a real shortage of cybersecurity personnel. So in fact, the industry has been coming to us, hey, why you guys don't produce more graduates so we can hire? So therefore, our intake size has been quite significantly large, 150. Okay, yeah. Okay, any more question? How many places do you have in cybersecurity? Okay, I thought I just answered that. It's about 150 places we take in. Yeah. Okay, while waiting for more questions, I forgot to update you also. Up and coming, we are also bringing in for our CDF, bringing in more technologies and skill set. So the malware analysis center is one recently launched. The up and coming one will be the OT security. Don't know whether you guys heard before. OT stands for operational technology security. So what is OT security? What is operation technology? Also, operational technology, it is not your notebook, it is not your server and so on, it is not your data center, it is the operational system, like MRT system, the train moving, right? Okay, the water system that supplies water to your house, the electricity, the airport system, in the Changi Airport and so on. So all these based on the trend, the hackers nowadays don't just attack the IT, so they are now beginning to attack more on the operational technology, and this can be very, very dangerous, because imagine if the hacker attack our traffic system, then suddenly the traffic light go haywire, and then all the cars will collide. Because supposed to be red light become green, then all the cars go in the crossroad junction and they collide against one another. So therefore, we are gearing up the new technology that we are bringing in, which should materialize somewhere in mid of 2022. We'll bring in the OT technology. So we will have a lab called IIoT lab that trains students on OT security base. Yeah. Okay, there's a question here. Are your lessons on campus or home-based learning? Pretty much our lessons are on campus. Okay, but due to the pandemic
we have moved to home-based learning. Yeah, so we can do home-based learning for sure because IT or cybersecurity, we can actually set up a virtual environment using virtual machines, so that students can actually from their home do their learning also. But you will notice that a lot of the equipment and so on, they are on campus, okay, on our campus. So hence, it would be our preference would be the students come on campus to do. But again, if it's really due to pandemic and need to be home-based, it's not an issue for us. So it can be either campus or home-based learning. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming in. Okay, so I shall end the Q&A now. Okay, thank you very much. Again, there's a shortage of cyber security personnel out there. So we hope, okay, if this is your interest that you want to come in to pursue and then to help to safeguard all the IT assets, the OT security assets and so on, do not hesitate anymore. Do put in your choice and then join us. Okay, hope to see you then. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.